Hey little cuties, Demi Bobemi here and welcome to another coffee date vlog. This coffee date vlog is the paranormal tag because I'm obsessed with ghosts. I would like to preface this video with, if you are not a believer in ghosts, that's fine. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm also not trying to be convinced they're not real. I'm also not trying to get in an argument about if they are, they aren't. It's just for fun. Calm down. With that out of the way, let's giggity get on with it. So grab your beverage and let's go. Number 1, how old were you when you had your first paranormal experience? I was around 8 years old. My great grandma was in the hospital. She was in a coma. It was bad news. One night I had woken up around 2 a.m. I was having a camp out in the living room. I remember sitting straight up, looking at the clock, and I remember it saying 2 a.m. and I just had this feeling of relief. And I went back to sleep. The next morning, my mom informed me that my great grandma had passed away that night. I also found out that my mom, my aunt, and my grandma all woke up around 2 a.m. and thought of my great grandma. So I think my great grandma came to visit me as well and say, see you later. Can we get our lives together? Number 2, have you always believed in ghosts? I don't remember a time that I didn't believe in ghosts. Number 3, where is your favorite place to investigate? I've never properly investigated anywhere ever. I would like to investigate a place that has a really creepy background, like maybe one day the family in the house just like disappeared and nobody knew what happened to them, kind of a thing. That'd be cool. Number 4, what is your favorite investigating tool to use? Again, since I haven't investigated anything properly, I'm going to have to make an educated guess and say that an audio recorder might be my favorite. I'm always very intrigued by EVPs. Number 5, what is your scariest paranormal experience? The first one that always comes to mind when I think about paranormal experiences is one I've already talked about on my channel. I'll probably link it. I did it a long time ago. It probably is kind of cringy, but I was at my boyfriend's house. Well, he's now my husband. And I heard somebody walking up the stairs and pause at the landing in front of the door, and I thought it was his roommate. Definitely wasn't his roommate because those footsteps continued through into the bedroom along the foot of the bed. It was pacing back and forth and finally paused at the foot of the bed, and I could feel something staring at me. So I jumped out of the bed, ran to the bathroom where my husband, well, boyfriend, was showering and was banging on the door and was like, oh my God, there was a ghost. We're all gonna die. He tried to replicate the sound, couldn't replicate it. So that was really scary. Number 6, what is your favorite paranormal experience? Aside from my great grandmother coming to visit me before she passed, I would have to say the time when my friend came over. We tried to pull a prank on him and put the Ouija board out and pretend like we had no idea how it got there. And then he was like, whatever, fuck you guys, you did that. So we said, oh, you got us. We put it back in the cabinet that it belongs in, and a few minutes later we heard an audible knock come from inside the cabinet from the exact place the Ouija board was at, which was super weird. We tried to replicate that noise. We actually did replicate the noise, but we had to knock on the cabinet door where the Ouija board was at. So, number 7, do you know anyone else personally who has paranormal experiences? Yes, my husband has had paranormal experiences in the past. So has my mom. Anything that they've experienced has been what I would call inexplicable. I wouldn't know how to go about explaining it, so I think they're paranormal. I mean, both my husband and my mom think they're paranormal too, so I'm not just like a crazy person. I might also just be a crazy person though. Number 9, favorite paranormal TV show or movie? I'm going to count YouTube in this category since I don't really watch a whole lot of TV anymore. The only BuzzFeed series I will watch is their Unsolved Paranormal series. I cannot stop watching it. I've been just like binging their videos and sometimes like rewatching their old paranormal videos, and I would have to say it's made me feel more inclined to purchase investigation gear. I do have a few things in my Amazon cart waiting for me to, like, I don't know, just buy it already. So that's my favorite, is the BuzzFeed one. Number 10, what would be your dream place to investigate? Since I haven't investigated anywhere would be my dream place. However, I did say earlier I would like to investigate somewhere creepy, like where there was a weird disappearance or something. And I would say that'd probably be my dream place to investigate. Just somewhere where like the weirdest, most off the wall, inexplicable thing happened. Number 11, do you prefer to investigate alone or in a group? Again, I have never been on an investigation, but I think I would prefer to do it in a group because as much as I love creepy, scary things, I am the most baby of all the babies. And sometimes it's an involuntary reaction, but sometimes if I'm in like a really scary situation, my eyes start tearing up. And it's sort of like if your eyes are dry and they just sort of tear up, and it's not really like crying, it's just like your eyes are leaking, if that happens. So probably in a group. Number 12, is your home haunted? So I haven't felt the presence recently, but when we first moved in, I swear to you, there was an older gentleman in our house, not like a real person, like a ghosty man. He would only ever show up when my husband wasn't around, and it wasn't like a menacing presence, it was more or less like a father, like a paternal vibe, sort of. There was something very like strict feeling about this, whatever it was. On occasion I would feel inclined to like put pants on instead of shorts, or put like a sweater on or something, especially when I'd be going to bed and I would be typically wearing a lot less clothing to bed, and I would feel this bizarre urge to put more clothing on to go to bed, which is something that isn't a thing I've ever done, like ever. So that was really weird. I don't know what happened to him. He's gone. I haven't felt him in a really long time. So maybe he passed on, which is good. I'm glad he found the light, or maybe he's haunting one of my neighbors. I don't know. Number 13. Have you ever had any paranormal experiences with animals? The place that we lived in before this one, we didn't have my dog Freya, but we did have my dog Isaac. We lived in like townhomes, and we were friends with like two of our other like neighbors. We used to joke one of our neighbors had a ghost living in her house, and it would really freak her out. The weird thing was I would actually hear noises that I really shouldn't have been hearing coming from her house. Like, for instance, while she was sleeping or while she wasn't home. She didn't have big animals. She didn't live with anyone else. Well, she had a husband, but he was like away or something. I would just hear like really weird noises, like something coming down the stairs or like banging on the walls, and it would sound like somebody was in the bathroom like slamming all the cabinets around. It was fucking weird. But one day she decided she wasn't about that life. So she cleansed her entire house, like smudged her house. And wouldn't you know it, weird shit started happening in my house. My dog would often stand or sit next to my side of the bed and stare at the like upper corner of the wall. One time he like was staring at the upper corner and he followed something down. I tried to chalk up this to like maybe he saw a bug or something. I don't know. I didn't think dogs had great night vision, but whatever. So he would also sometimes just like stare through the wall like toward my neighbor's house, which was weird. He would also sit at the entrance of the walk-in closet and just stare into the closet. Super weird. I especially get freaked out when my dogs are like alerted to a noise, because that makes me feel like it's a weird noise to them, and we live in a fucking apartment building. So yes, I've definitely had some paranormal experiences with animals. Freaks me out. It's especially scary. Anyways, you guys, that is all of the questions that I have. If you have had any paranormal experiences, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below, or if you would like to respectfully talk about paranormal ghosty stuff, I'd love to do that too. So hit me up in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out. I super duper appreciate it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below, and I'll see you little cuties in the next one. Bye.